We're really excited to be working with Freetrade, who've sponsored this video.
Freetrade believes in commission-free investing for everyone. This means you won't pay any commission when investing your spare cash.
While other brokers charge up to £12 per trade, Freetrade doesn't, so you can keep more of your money. And where they do charge, like on FX, it's fair and transparent.
The design of the app makes it simple and easy to use, which is great for any experience level. From beginners starting to educate themselves on the benefits of investing to experts already in the know.
You can start investing from just £2, and they offer these things called fractional stocks. This basically means you can buy a small piece of expensive US companies like Google, Tesla and Apple.
With over 700,000 investors on board and having won the best online trading platform at the British Bank Awards 5 years running, they're an investment platform you can trust.
Now for the best bit. If you create and fund your account with just £50 using our link, you will get a free share worth between £10 and £100. That could be in anything from Ford to Spotify.
Remember, when you invest, your capital is at risk. The value of your portfolio can go up as well as down, and you may get back less than you put in. This is not financial advice. You should always do your own research on what investments are right for you before investing, or seek the advice of a professional. Yo guys, welcome to the last lap.
Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
I would say, Niran, that by modern standards, it's been a pretty decent race.
Well, it was very solid by Monaco standards.
It was.
And as a fully fledged member of the Monaco Haters Society.
You are.
Copyright. I am, yes. No, you're not. You're very much, yeah.
No,
I was very impressed, though I will remind everyone that the main addition that I wanted for Monaco was sprinklers. We got water.
Natural sprinklers.
We got natural sprinklers.
Yeah. Mother Nature sprinkled all over the Monaco Grand Prix circuit.
Sounds messy.
It does. It was a bit messy, but not many people DNF, so all good. And
apart from Lance.
Katie, thank you for joining us for the podcast. You watched along with us
I
for the
did.
race. A Monaco Grand Prix, pretty memorable one, I'd say. As much as Max did end up winning by a massive margin, at the end of the day, it was... A lot went on once the rain came out. Alonso couldn't get the move done into turn one, which I think from, neutral point of view, you're hoping it was going to happen. But all in all, it was a decent Grand Prix.
It was. I mean, normally Monaco is kind of known for the one-stop strategy that we get. But with the rain, obviously, strategies were like all over the place. We had Magnussen out on the slicks when everybody else was on wets. We had people not sure when to pit for wets, some pitting for slicks, and then literally laps later coming in for wets. So it was a real mix of options up and down the grid. And yeah, we got some different faces on the podium, which was nice. Esty Bestie got up there, which I'm very happy about. So yeah, I think like you say, on Monaco standards, sometimes with Monaco, it feels like it's either an absolute banger or we have one that's pretty forgettable. So it was good to have this one up there. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
That is a point. There's no real middle of the road Monaco Grand Prix, is there?
No.
It's very just like either there was one overtake all race, or all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it is reliant on factors outside of control, I guess, a lot of the time. And obviously that rain coming, because we didn't know, some teams thought it was going to come on lap like 35. It wasn't that early. It was quite considerably late. I mean, Lando pitted for slicks only a few laps before the rain started to come down, didn't he?
But it had already, this is what pains me, it had already started raining when
It had
came in.
on parts of the track.
We were already getting like, George Russell on the radio saying, it's spitting, guys, not gonna lie, blimey, all that jazz, whatever. He'd already said that.
The blimey merchant.
He'd already said that. And then Lando pitted. And again, same with Fernando as well. But the Wikipedia page probably won't be that into this race.
No.
But overall, Stroll and Perez, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of shenanigans at the back, didn't they?
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, it was pretty stinky. Well, because I suppose this is the kind of race that really showcases how much of a team sport Formula One is. And we saw, Lando in Russia when he didn't pit, should have pitted a bit too early this time. Like it was mad actually how little the finishing order changed from when it was dry to wet. Even though it was really exciting, it didn't change that much because I think so many teams went down the right aisle. But also, do we think Fernando and Aston Martin maybe bottled an opportunity to win this race by pitting him on the slicks?
I think
Wasted
so.
pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's kind of ended up still in second, and the time difference, Max seemed to just be like quite clear. But yeah, like you say, it wasted amount of time, and Monaco's quite a long pit lane as well. So you do waste, I think it's about 30 seconds here with a pit stop. So potentially there could have been another Alonso win, or like I say, the first in 10 years. But yeah, I guess we'll never know because of an ill-timed pit stop.
That was even weirder than the Lando one, wasn't it? Because like the Lando one, it was like it's spitting. And it was like, well, it's probably not a great idea, lads, but I can understand you, whatever. With the Fernando one, people were already actually on into.
Well, his teammate was.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe
Either
the data was weird, or
either just leave him out and get the data from Stroll, or just do the same. Like, that made no sense to put him that early onto that late, onto the slicks. I don't know. But.
Yeah, I think, look, again, when you look at the time delta, Fernando wouldn't have caught Max just based off the numbers. However, obviously, yeah, if you
At the end, though, there was a point where he was only about 17 seconds behind.
Yeah, and if you're closer, you can put on more pressure.
Yeah,
You're more
we
of
saw
a
Max
figure.
making a few little mistakes towards the end.
He got quite lucky, didn't he? He was just
did.
before the tunnel when he was still on slicks.
That was when he was still on slicks, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He
Yeah, even coming around to back, like hit the wall.
Yeah.
like Max isn't one to like even if you're 20 seconds ahead, Max, just take it easy. He's not. That's just not in his nature, is it?
No.
Which but he's got the talent to back it up. I mean, we talked about driver of the day potential candidates, and it's easy to gloss over Max because he's just so consistently impressive. But we kind of take it for granted. Like that. Like, can we talk about that qualifying session? Because even Q1 was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was riveted.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Sergio slapping it into the scenery.
But it was just the track was
Lewis almost. It was the
evolving
it
so
was
quickly.
It was the evolution.
Track evolution was.
I mean, Joe was P1 at one stage. I was like, what the fuck? Yes. It was great. But I mean, do we think that... Because I think the only team who seemed kind of off the pace was Haas. Like, there was lots of cars that could have got to Q3. Even Albon doing what Albon does, because he's great. In the Williams, almost getting to Q3 as well.
Yeah,
P13 in the end. But ultimately, I think that showcased what's so great about Monaco, right?
Yeah.
It's just such a short lap. Ultimately, you're going to get like a smaller time deltas. Any minor mistake anywhere, could be crazily costly just because the walls are there and you've not got much time to recoup it. I mean, I still don't understand. Obviously, I'm taking a jump here into Q3, but Max Verstappen's final sector, I watched like a visualizer of like both the cars, going, and Alonso had a whole car's width on Max until Raskas. And then it was like he didn't brake. It's like he wall rode.
Road?
Yeah, I think road. We did see that in the NASCAR not that long ago, didn't we?
Yeah. It was almost like he did that. I don't know. It was crazy. The amount of time he gained, mental final sector, crazy that.
It really was. Yeah, I was so sure that Alonso had it in the bag. But then I guess you've seen how inevitable Max Verstappen is. That there's a part of me that was like, Max is somehow going to get this. I could just feel it. But yeah, it was amazing, especially as you say, like it's such a short sector as well. To make so much time up was just brilliant. But yeah, qualifying was stunning yesterday. And, the last few years that we've had in Monaco have been affected by a red flag towards the end of the session. So perhaps by not having that, it made it much more exciting. And also, like you say, the fact that although we didn't have a red flag, that there could be one around every corner, like anyone could cause one. And we also had lots of big players out early on. I say big player, like obviously Perez, but likes of Stroll as well. He had an absolute shocker of a qualifying.
Yep.
So that was kind of like normally a guaranteed top 10 position for him. So that was somebody that was going to be in there. But yeah, it was great. I love it.
And I mean, Max was the last car to set his time. So, if anyone's, because that's the risk, isn't it, going late?
And he's done that every year and it's never paid off.
Yeah.
So
But now it did.
Now it did.
Yeah, because
One time,
I remember when Charles crashed, didn't he?
Sergio.
Yeah.
And Verstappen was just coming up with the Charles one, just coming up. I remember his reaction.
Yeah.
That is obviously
And then
fuming.
last year with Perez, same thing. Yeah. So
What did we think about the whole idea of, again, we didn't, it was great because no one crashed, but if people do and getting lap times taken off of you if you cause red flags and all that, do we think that's a sensible change? Because there's been talking about that for quite a while now, I think.
Well, the driver who causes the red flag gets the
I think
time
so.
taken away.
I think that would be.
I think that's just a reasonable. I think they do that in
Indy? I think
they do it in Indy.
They do.
I think at the end of the day, like obviously you've not been in it on purpose, but like if you are going to cause disruption to everybody else, then realistically you shouldn't be gaining out of that because ultimately you do.
Yeah.
If you're the one that brings out the red flag, you've probably set a lap before, and you're probably going to keep, like Charles, when he crashed from like first.
Yeah.
Kept his pole because of it, and I don't think that's, you know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
daunting
drivers
completely.
that are capable of foul play on the grid or anything like that.
No, of course.
Yeah.
It just
But I
seems
think-
unfair.
Yeah,
It seems
I
like an
agree.
unfair advantage by accident more than anything. Well,
Yeah.
apart from Sergio, I guess, because that's good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it didn't quite work out for him this year, did it? Checo just not a good race at all.
Yeah,
Time to
interesting
change.
6-stopper strategy as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend.